Finals week going on, but that's not going to stop the Mays rage from blowing off a little final steam here in Ann Arbor, because basketball is back at Chrysler Arena. Basketball on BTN presented by Jeep, and the Michigan Wolverines 10-0 on the year, back on the court to take on the Broncos of Western Michigan. Good afternoon, everybody. Alongside Stephen Bardo, I'm Kevin Kugler. The Jeep starting lineups, and you're going to see something very rare today. Seth Dugan in the middle, 7-footer for Western Michigan, averaging a double-double, 17.5 points, 10 rebounds per game. Matching up inside against another 7-footer. You don't see it too often in today's college basketball, but John Teske and Seth Dugan, two 7-footers going head-to-head. That's one of the stories, but the big story with Michigan, a 10-0 start, Stephen Bardo, and 24-1 their last 25.
Number one, defensive efficiency rating in the nation are the Wolverines. They make defense look pretty.
And we are ready to get this one underway. The tip controlled by Western Michigan, and Michael Flowers will navigate for the Broncos, who come in at 5-4. Picked last year to win the MAC West. Really had some injury issues and some problems. This year picked 4th in the MAC West. And they'll go right inside to Seth Dugan and put the big man to work. Teske holding his ground. Dugan's hook won't go.
Nice job by Teske. And looks like Matthews and Brazakis got mixed up there along the baseline.
Second chance coming up for Western Michigan.
A lot of times, Kevin, in today's game, especially at the college level, Dugan's not used to going against another 7-footer, so it's going to be a little unusual at the start.
Jonas Wilkins off the inbound. Here's Jared Printy, the native of Cedar Rapids, Iowa. Backs it around to Flowers. Josh Davis trying to find some room. Suffocated by Jordan Poole. Back out for a 3 from Wilkins. That's strong. And Poole battling for the rebound, and a foul on Josh Davis, his first.
Good defense, as you would expect to start by Michigan. You're going to see Western Michigan go for a lot of threes early. They hit 11 threes in their last game in the first half against Youngstown State.
It's the ultimate equalizer.
Yes, it is.
When you're coming on the road against a top 5 team like Michigan is. There's Charles Matthews up to Xavier Simpson.
We'll talk about it more in the telecast, but Xavier Simpson is a guy that has really spearheaded the defensive attack of this team.
Off on that shot, Michael Flowers with the rebound. Now Flowers around Dugan, trying to get it to his big man. Now he does, and Dugan with an easy 2.
That's a nice job by Flowers. Probing the defense that time. Got past Simpson, which you're not going to hear me say that a lot today.
I can't hear anybody say that much all year, the way he's played defensively.
That's true.
The entry to Matthews going baseline. Rejected, knocked away. Printy got a piece of that inside. And Flowers now will bring it up.
But don't discount the fact that Western Michigan, this is a very important game for them. Coming in and playing not only top 5 team, but also the state school.
And you can see the focal point for Steve Hawkins' offense early. It's number 50. Go right inside to the big man. He's had a touch every offensive possession.
He has, and that's a wise decision because, you know, like we talked about, they can hit the 3, but Western Michigan is always really good at the free throw line. They want to get there.
Jordan Poole gets to the rim. An athletic move by Poole to get Michigan on the board.
Poole's one of those guys that's just starting to understand how good he could really be.
And a turnover. That's one big problem for the Broncos. It's turnovers. The turnover rate's at 22% on the year, and that'll drive Steve Hawkins nuts in his 16th season as the head man at Western Michigan. It's been a real consistent problem for a team that took care of the ball exceptionally well last year.
Yeah, a lot of times that means that guys aren't connected on the offensive end.
Dacus down the baseline, not going to get that one to go, and a rebound tipped out to the Broncos. Davis, the native of Detroit. Here's Wilkins trying to penetrate, backs it out to Printy.
See how well Teske moved his feet that time?
Hands of Jordan Poole. Poole looking for traffic, finds none, and gets the 2-hand flush.
Jordan Poole's really improved in that aspect of his game. Watching the scouting report, anticipating where the play is going to be, shoots the gap, nice play.
Big Ten Player of the Week on December 3rd. Jordan Poole averaging almost 19 points per game over his last 5. Dugan crashing inside, and a foul is going to be called. Good work by Western Michigan interior passing. And the foul goes on John Teske, his first.
Dugan does a good job of moving without the basketball.
John Beilein, 12th season as the head man of Michigan. We got the chance to sit down with him a little while ago. Very energetic, feeling a new lease on life after the double bypass in August, and really likes his squad. And what's there not to like about this team right now?
A ton to like, and it's a ton to like to sit and listen to the guru, as Derek Walton called him. Kevin, I think it's safe to say that we learn something every time that we sit and talk with this man.
Just fantastic. The thing he wrote on the board today for his team, relentless pursuit. He wants them to continually, relentlessly pursue offense, defense, all over the place. Work, work, work.
No let up whatsoever. And that's what's allowed them to jump out to this blazing hot start.
From the corner, the three and air ball. Brazdeikis thought he was fouled. None there, and Flowers will push it up the floor. Blazing hot start to the season. Kind of a cold start today for Michigan.
Yes, and you know, I'm not surprised because, again, Western Michigan's going to bring their A game. You know, it just takes Michigan sometimes a couple minutes to figure things out.
Here's Matthews on the drive. That one not going to go. Battling for it, Austin Davis couldn't handle it. And up the floor comes Flowers. Michigan 2 for 6 from the floor to start this one off. Both teams coming off a week layoff for finals. Good hands by Xavier Simpson. Bats it out of bounds, and we've reached our first media timeout in Ann Arbor. A 5-4 lead for the visitors. You're a foul one, Mr. Grinch. That's a good shooter, too. Look at the Grinch firing from free throw line and nailing it. Alongside Stephen Bardo, I'm Kevin Kugler. Happy holidays to you. Obviously in the holiday spirit here in Ann Arbor. We're in the spirit for big men playing basketball here in Ann Arbor. What a start to the year for John Teske.
He's been fantastic, Kevin, and all the things that he can do for his ball club. Let's take a look here. It's not uncommon to see bigs post up. But watch what Teske does. He posts up so hard, allows Simpson to get to the rim, and then cleans up the mess. That's a really, really solid play. And then here he stays opposite of the dribble penetration, and you'll see 2 of these at least a game. John Teske has really been a surprising weapon for the Wolverines thus far.
Career high 10 starts, now 11 with this game today. 4 games in doubles, averaging 13 points a game in his last 3. He's become a scorer, he's a rebounder, he's doing a little bit of everything.
He is, and you know what, there's a lot expected of bigs here in this program for John Beilein. And Teske was reported that Xavier Simpson made him his pet project last year, and it really paid off.
And Dugan trying to get the shot off, could not get it around Austin Davis. And Michigan would love to see Austin Davis take that next step as the backup to John Teske.
Yeah, they definitely would. He's got the size, and you know, it's one of those things. We'll get into it later on the telecast, the learning levels that Michigan gets into, and I'm sure Davis is in one of those first couple categories.
Charles Matthews on the drive, gets to the rim and draws the foul.
Tell you what, Michigan hasn't converted a lot, but they have really attacked the rim. It's the second time that Charles has gone in. We saw Brazdeikis get in there one time, so Michigan really attacking the paint.
Matthews on the year, just 58% at the line. It's been one of the few Achilles heels that Michigan has shown through the first 10 games. Some free throw shooting woes as a team. As a team, only 66% on the year.
You know, they had that last year, too. You know, it's strange. Like, they can master so many different aspects of the game, and it's unusual to see a John Beilein coach team struggle from the line, but they do so many other things well.
Recently, it's been unusual to see Michigan struggle in anything. 24-1 over their last 25 games. But yeah, it's glaring when there's an area that isn't at an optimum level, and it's been the free throw shooting so far.
It has, and you know what, Kevin, we always say in basketball, oh, that will come back to get you. Eventually, that will come back to get you. Well, it hasn't for Michigan thus far.
Here's Brazdeikis. They go to work off the dribble against Josh Davis. Tough traffic shot, and he'll go to the free throw line. Now this Michigan team entering play today at 10-0. It's the 4th time the Wolverines have started 10-0 in Michigan history. I mean, you're talking about a program that's been going on a long time, and this is record-breaking territory already for the Michigan Wolverines. 10-0 to start this season, and every single time they've been 10-0 or better to start the year, good things have happened at the end of the year. Look at that, 16-0 Big Ten champs in 85-86, 11-0 NCAA champs at the end of the year in 89, runners-up in 2012-13 when they matched their best start in program history at 16-0. Where will this team go from the start, and where will it go at the end?
It's going to be interesting, Kevin, because here's the thing. This Michigan team, I think, is better defensively than those previous teams that we showed. And so a lot of times when you are this sound on this end of the floor, it can really make up for some of the things like free throw shooting that you may struggle with.
Printy with the 3. That one's good. And Western Michigan back on top as Jared Printy at 41% on the year. All he does really is shoot threes, and he hits another one.
Yeah, 80% of his attempts are from beyond the line. Right there, you can see how comfortable he was, because a lot of times, Kevin, if you make a guy move off of a catch and shoot, it's rare that they put it on the foul.
There, as you mentioned, again, going right to the rim. Matthews can't get the roll. Rough start for Michigan, just 2 for 7 from the floor and 1 of 4 from the line.
I think it could be a little rust, a little break that Michigan's coming off of right now. We start to see them, I anticipate them starting to get on track here shortly.
Tough catch for Printy. He'll launch from deep again, and he'll hit again. Jared Printy. He started the year 8 of 13 from 3. It only hit 31% since, but he comes out firing here in Ann Arbor.
And he's got the back pedal down. I mean, that was the prettiest back pedal I think I've seen all season.
And a little bobble underneath as Simpson was driving baseline, and it goes out of bounds.
Watch how Printy's able to get this up over the defense. He had just hit one, and that back pedal right there, man, that's pro level. Love it. There's Printy with some nice style there.
Isaiah Livers on the floor now for Michigan. As Michael Flowers will bring it up. 6-point lead for Western Michigan. As Wilkins bumped there by the bigger Livers.
I don't know if he has enough time to get it all.
Dugan can't get that one to fall. Rebound tip to Livers. And then thrown away. A turnover. Flowers launching the 3. And Matthews the rebound.
Well, Michigan fortunate in that regard with that exchange.
And up the floor, Austin Davis gets to the rim to finish.
Boy, great vision by Xavier Simpson. There's a little bit of traffic there that he got that pass through.
There's Printy. Bumped by Poole, forcing a near turnover. It is a turnover. Matthews able to pluck it. Now Poole, the push ahead. Here's Livers on the drive, and Michigan within 2.
Nice job by the Wolverines responding with a little bit more up-tempo. They were having difficulty finding some rhythm in the half-court set. Last couple times they've been able to advance the ball via the pass. Get some high percentage looks.
Now 4 Western Michigan turnovers, helping that offensive spark for Michigan. 9 to shoot for Flowers. Flowers launching from deep, and he hits. Michael Flowers, a 43% shooter from 3.
You saw when he got the steal, tried the quick one, it didn't go. He just needed a little bit of adjustment.
Nice look from Simpson, and Austin Davis with a 2-hand flush. What a feed.
So we saw that with the John Teskey example, how the bigs stay opposite of the dribble penetration for that lob or that pass in traffic.
Flowers inside, bumped by Davis, too strong. Simpson fouled midcourt by Kiwanis Wilkins. And that'll take us to a timeout in Ann Arbor. And Austin Davis making a bid for some time.
Well, Austin, beautiful recipient of a pocket pass, and he knows what to do when he's point-blank range.
Jeep, hurry in for great deals at the Jeep Big Finish sales event. And brought to you by State Farm, here to help life go right. Talk to a State Farm agent today. Western Michigan, on the strength of 3 made three-pointers, has a 3-point lead. Kevin Kugler alongside Stephen Bardo, and Michigan certainly has the capability of coming back, especially when you get these guys going.
Yeah, and they're eventually going to catch fire, in my opinion. They've had looks. They're just knocking off a little bit of rust. But when you have that kind of depth, Kevin, and you can attack so many different ways, guys are feeling good about their offense. Very difficult to defend.
Livers on the run. Couldn't get that one to bounce home. And the rebound to Western Michigan. Patrick Emelian clears the board. William Boyer-Richard will bring it up.
Like you were in Paris.
He's a native of Quebec. Kind of roll off the tongue a little bit.
There you go. Well done.
10 to shoot for Wilkins. Wilkins against Brosdakis. Wilkins driving on the freshman. Knocked free. 2 to shoot. Got to hurry. Forces it up. And the rebound will be knocked out of bounds. With contact and a foul going to go against Western Michigan. That'll be on T.J. Clifford, his first.
See, I know I'm old school, so somebody should have gone over to Brad Zakis and dropped him because he got hit in the midsection there. So, you know, you need a teammate's assist there. I know the young people listening. What the heck is he talking about? But old school players, they know what I mean.
Cool. He showed the screen, didn't set. Now in the corner, it's Eli Brooks. Brooks curling to the elbow for the jumper, and Eli Brooks with his first 2.
I think Eli Brooks is going to be a key to this team. You know, he could spell Xavier Simpson. He could give a little bit different look from the point guard position. Let me see him getting his confidence up.
Adrian Martin, Boyer-Richard on the drive against Brooks, using the window. And Western Michigan extends again to a 3-point lead.
That's a high degree of difficulty on that shot right there. That angle was tough, but he made it look easy off the glass.
Teske thought about pulling the trigger. He's attempted several this year from deep. This one from deep, off the mark for Livers, and Emelian the rebound.
Western Michigan has been pretty solid here defensively. Haven't given up a lot of open looks and definitely not a lot of second chance opportunities.
And in the glass right now, even on the boards with Michigan is Western Michigan. 7 to shoot. Clifford with an open 3. Short, and the rebound tipped out, and a foul is going to be called. Is it Livers or is it Martin? And it'll be on Adrian Martin, who picks up the personal foul, his first, team's 6th.
That's always weird to me how officials pick out who to call the foul on when both guys are going after the basketball. I think they got it right, but it's always a tough call to me when it's bang, bang like that.
Feels like a coin flip, doesn't it?
Yeah. I have to give the officials the benefit of the doubt in that scenario because I've got the benefit of instant replay, so I'd be messing up calls left and right.
I hope I'm on that game where you're refereeing so I can say, oh, Bardo got another one wrong. Man, he used to sit over here and say how great it was. Now he's missing all these calls.
Yeah, exactly. Dude, I mean, the way that they're graded, I'd get one game in and that'd be about it.
Brosdakis getting tangled up there with Gowanus Wilkins. That's the 7th team foul. 1-on-1 opportunity coming up for Iggy Brosdakis. Team 7, Wolverine Tower in the bonus. Tonight on BTN, Tyler Cook and the Hawkeyes hit the floor in Des Moines to take on Northern Iowa. Big Ten basketball presented by Jeep tonight, 7 Eastern, right here on BTN and the Fox Sports app.
I understand what's going on in college basketball with, you know, Big Ten expanding to 20 games. It saddens me that the Hy-Vee Classic is going to go away in Iowa. I think the Crossroads Classic in Indiana, where Notre Dame, Purdue, Indiana, and Butler connect. I think the Hy-Vee Classic over in Iowa, when Northern Iowa, Drake, Iowa State, and Iowa get together. I'd like to see something like that in the Chicagoland area. It'd be nice to create like a Big Five like Philadelphia has.
It would be outstanding. Of course, the downside to that Big Five we saw from Villanova earlier this week. You lose a game.
That's right. Great point.
I mean, I don't want to to see it as a fan. I know you do too, so it's great.
Yeah. I mean, it builds up college basketball in those local areas.
No question. There's Seth Dugan. The turnaround jumper is short. Matthews the rebound. Michigan just 1 for 5 at the line. Teskey's setting up inside. The three not going to go. Somebody's missing a shoe, and it looks like it's Josh Davis of Western Michigan. They're going to stop play so he can get his shoe back on. He played that whole defensive possession in one sock foot.
Hey, that's impressive, man, because you know what? He didn't hesitate. He just got back in the paint, tried to build a wall a little bit, knowing that he couldn't go side to side because he'd probably fall in the socks. But these low cuts, man, I know everything is stylish and trendy, but I don't know how these dudes play in low cuts. We never did. We were required to play in high tops, Kevin. We couldn't play in low tops.
It would be odd to try to play it, wouldn't it, for you? As you played in high tops the whole time?
Yeah, I mean, if I did that now, man, please. I'd be on somebody's stretcher.
And then you wouldn't be able to officiate a game.
That's true. Takes me out of my true calling, right?
Here's Flowers working inside. Dugan wasn't ready, but Flowers got it back and draws the contact and the foul. Michael Flowers has been impressive early, very aggressive as he gets the foul on Teskey, and that's his second personal foul.
So Western Michigan, we talked about their three-point shooting ability, but they seem to be of a similar mindset as Michigan, really attacking the paint. So starting to get into the depth, front-line depth of Michigan already.
One more for Flowers. As Livers will check in, and Teskey will sit down.
So you expected Michael Flowers to come out, have a good game. Southfield, Michigan native, and I'm sure he's got some family in the stands and people watching at home.
He's had a really good run of late. 16 points per game over his last 4 games for Michigan. Not a good run to start. 0 for 4 from 3, 1 of 5 from the line. Trying to get off the schneid from 3. That won't go. Offensive rebound delivers.
Nice job by Livers. One of the toughest things to do in his zone defense is defensive rebound.
Matthews, another rebound. Can't get it to go. Matthews once more. New shot clock, plenty of time. Matthews will back it out.
Charles hasn't converted a lot, but boy, has he been aggressive here in the first half. Almost every time he touches, he's looking to make something happen.
Brasdeikis, the scoop. That won't go. Rough start for the super freshman, Iggy Brasdeikis.
And as talented as he is, there are games like this in your first season. Everything you do just doesn't seem to work. He's on a very talented club that can make up for his struggling on the offensive end.
Corner 3 for Printy won't go. Rebound Xavier Simpson. Simpson looking to push. Here's Matthews. Back out to Matthews for 3. First made 3 for Michigan.
And you knew it was only going to be a matter of time, Kevin, before they got that look that they were looking for. Nice ball movement. Always good floor spacing under John Beilein.
And a foul is going to go the other way on Josh Davis with the screen and a timeout here in Ann Arbor.
Well, Charles Matthews has struggled getting to the rim early in the game. Didn't have a lot of success, but he moved out a little bit. Nice stroke from 3.
In the first half, Western Michigan with the advantage here in Ann Arbor. Alongside Stephen Bardo, I'm Kevin Kugler. When you've got a young team, John Beilein sat down and went through it with us today, the 4 stages of learning. First stage of learning for his kids, they are unconsciously incompetent. That means they don't know what they're doing wrong, but they're doing stuff wrong. Then they become consciously incompetent. They are aware that they're doing everything wrong, and they're like, oh my gosh, everything I do is wrong. Then they become consciously competent. They start to know what they're doing, but they're thinking through it a lot. You know, I got to go here, I got to go there. He says the goal with any of his young kids is to get to the unconsciously competent stage of learning, which means they're doing what they're supposed to do, and they're not even thinking about it when they're doing it.
And, you know, right here, one of the players that do that, Charles Matthews, Xavier Simpson, another one, have gotten to that stage. And you asked him a great question. You said, listen, so we don't have any freshmen at that last stage. He said, well, Trey Burke was one of the freshmen that he had that could really pick up what they throw at him, because John Beilein throws a lot at his kids.
Well, he said Iggy Brasdeikis, because, you know, that's the freshman you always think of with this Michigan team this year. I said, where's he at on the list? He says he's probably in the consciously competent range right now. And I said, that's got to be pretty good for a true freshman. And he said, you know, Trey, then he brought up Trey Burke as a guy who had been at that level or beyond that level as a freshman. But it doesn't happen too often. And that's, for John Beilein, that's expected. When a kid comes into the program, you're going to go through those 4 stages of learning how to play the game in his system. And every year you're going to have guys on different levels of those stages.
I agree.
Really interesting conversation.
I agree, and I think that it gives tremendous insight on why this program has been successful under Beilein. Because he's got these stages, he's got this different terminology. I'm telling you, every time we go and talk to him, Kevin, it feels like I'm in class, like I need to be taking notes or something.
Well, there are just some coaches that relish the teaching aspect of coaching more than others. And John Beilein is one of those that I know relishes the teaching aspect of coaching.
There's no doubt about it.
Push ahead, and it's out of bounds. Turnover for Michigan. The turnovers have been a problem for both teams. That's the 4th turnover for Michigan, 5th for Western Michigan a moment ago.
And see, Charles Matthews was complaining to the official, Edwin Young, about having his arm grabbed, but I didn't see it there. So Charles Matthews trying to politic a little bit. Upperclassmen trying to work the officials.
Richard, nothing on the baseline, 10 to shoot. Shots have been difficult to come by for Western Michigan in this tie game. Boye Richard with 5 to shoot and stepped on the sideline as he received the pass. Michael Flowers with turnover number 6 for Western.
So you can see why Western Michigan gets in trouble a little bit with their turnovers, because they're working late into the shot clock, and now you have to make something happen. And they don't really have a lot of players, Western Michigan, that can create their own shot off the bounce, and thus they get in the problem.
Cool, and a whistle. That's going to be a foul on the screen from Xavier Simpson. Turnover right back to Western Michigan.
Wolverine's just a little bit off, and you can see the pensive look from John Beilein, trying to figure out how he can get his guys going.
Now, timeout taken by Western Michigan. Let's take a look at this message from ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire and the official hiring partner of the Big Ten Conference.
Hiring delays were causing work to pile up. That's not smart. But you know what is smart? Using ZipRecruiter. They find people with the right skills, education, and experience for my job and actively invite them to apply. So I got qualified candidates fast. No wonder ZipRecruiter is rated #1 by employers in the U.S.
ZipRecruiter, official hiring partner of the Big Ten Conference. Try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/Big10.
It's been a defensive struggle here today in Ann Arbor. Michigan 1 for their last 7 for the floor. Western Michigan 1 for their last 7 from the floor. Broncos haven't scored in almost 3 minutes, and not a surprise in a Michigan game to see defense dictating, but Michigan's offense hasn't picked up yet where it left off against South Carolina a week ago.
Yeah, we got to give Western Michigan a lot of credit on the defensive end. They've changed it up a little bit. They've thrown a little bit of zone in there. Been aggressive on the defensive rebounding side.
Flowers muscling it over the front of the rim, and Flowers with 6.
I like that call by Coach Hawkins to get Flowers in the post against Xavier Simpson.
Simpson, nothing there. Livers open for 3. A rebound to Flowers. Michigan 1 for 8 from 3 in this first half.
So a lot of times you'll see teams get hot or go cold, and then the next half may change things up.
Flowers with the step back 3. They're going to look at it to confirm, but as of right now, 22-17 Western Michigan.
I'm not surprised, Kevin. You heard me say this early in the game. Schools like Western Michigan, when they get a chance, I love that. I love that. That is old school right there. Running hook off the glass. Xavier Simpson taking a page out of old school game.
And then Flowers with the answer. Flowers has hit the last 3 buckets for Western Michigan. He's into double figures now.
Challenging Xavier Simpson. Xavier Simpson's usually the one doing the challenge.
Livers inside. A lid on that basket right now for Michigan, but he'll go to the line. Timeout here in Ann Arbor. The 5th-ranked Wolverines in a fight at home. Western Michigan, 3:54 remaining in the first half here in Ann Arbor. And the Wolverines a little bit cold coming off their finals break, Stephen Barno, 1 for 8 from 3.
Yeah, just trying to knock off some rust. They've had good looks. They've had quality looks from 3. They just haven't fallen. I think if they continue to get those looks, they'll start to get their rhythm. But again, I don't want to take anything away from Western Michigan and their defensive ability, because they are really putting together a nice game plan, limiting Michigan most of the time to just 1 attempt.
This has been a big area of concern. We talked about it earlier on the season, but today especially just 2 for 7 at the line for Michigan this afternoon.
You know what happens? This becomes contagious. You see one of your teammates missing, and then another guy misses, and all of a sudden, somebody's got to step up and break the chain.
Does it just take, as a shooter, somebody to make it and then
Yes.
can go the other way?
I think so. It's just because they know that they can shoot these. It's a mental battle right now, but once they get one to fall, I think you'll start to see them get a little bit more confident.
Zeta Livers with 1 for 2 on that trip. And a 4-point lead for Western Michigan's Michael Flowers with 11 points. They checked that 3 during the break. It was indeed a 3. Printy with 15 to shoot. Boye Richard has to back it out to Flowers. There's Flowers on the attack. He got bumped on the way to the rim and still got it to go with a left hand.
Wow, Flowers showing some strength. Only a sophomore, but he knows where the weight room is.
He says they helped me. Didn't matter. Here's Poole. Poole working, nowhere to go. Poole forcing the action. Can't get it. Dugan the rebound.
Great defense by Printy that time. Stayed on the floor, built a wall, forced a miss.
Again, he has been red hot. Defended 2, and he'll go to the line after the foul. He scored the last 10 points for the Broncos.
Flowers is feeling it. Southfield, Michigan native gets grabbed, jackknife, left hand, English. Nice finish.
That's putting an H up in force for sure.
This is interesting now. If he can hit this free throw and they go up by 8, that puts a little bit more pressure on Michigan here in the first half.
Michael Flowers, who last year as a freshman had to deal with the fact that his mom Joyce was very ill. She passed away near the end of the last year after an extended illness. And Steve Hawkins said that Michael, as you can imagine, played under the cloud of his mom's illness the whole year. And he has been able to find his game again this year, finding solace obviously on the court with Western Michigan. He certainly found it today. Matthews driving to the well, and he'll go to the free throw line again for Michigan. Boye Richard coming up. Don't forget our State Farm halftime report coming up. Dave Revson, Jess Settles, Deion Thomas will be along in our Chicago studios with the State Farm halftime report.
Talking about William Boye Richard. Took a little shot there as Matthews was getting to the rim. Game is physical intensity is really elevated.
Can't get the roll. Matthews 2 of 5 at the line.
So I thought once Livers hit that second one, I thought that the next guy up, Matthews, would find some success, but hasn't found it yet.
Another missed free throw, and Dugan the rebound. 3 for 11 at the line for the Michigan Wolverines, who trailed by 8. Deep 3 for Flowers, a little bit short, and Simpson the rebound. Now Simpson looking to push the attack, blazing to the other end of the floor. No, but Matthews there for the foul.
Nice job by Matthews, cleaning up the miss, and Simpson pushing the tempo. Hawkins can't be pleased with that last shot by Flowers. I understand you're hot, but you can't be the top 5 team making decisions like that.
This Michigan's been outscored in just 2 halves of basketball this year. Once by Northwestern in the second half last week, and once by Holy Cross in the first half. They led by 6 at halftime over Michigan. Matthews after the turnover, pocket pick, diving for it is Richard, kicks it back out, and we've got a foul, I believe. And that's going to be a foul against Boye Richard.
Boy, almost a pilfer in the open floor. Boye Richard, quick hands, but Matthews, I like the effort. See right here, he's getting ready to cross up. Boye Richard gets his hand in there, but good hustle by Matthews to recover.
More for Matthews.
You notice that time he took a little bit more time at the free throw line. Took a deep breath, collected himself. That's a veteran right there, understanding that when you're struggling, got to get back to the basics.
He came out of the gates this year so hot. 4 straight games in double figures. 25 against George Washington. Cooled a little bit of late. He's got 9 in the first half and back-to-back made free throws.
And you can tell by those forearms that he's been working with strength coach Sean Samuelson quite a bit.
9 points, 8 rebounds for Matthews in this first half.
And look at the defensive intensity pick up by Michigan. They've extended their pressure right now.
And Dugan losing it. Long pass ahead to Simpson, able to catch up and finish. He made a very difficult play look very easy.
Great job running that pass down. I thought maybe he was going to go out of bounds.
And somehow able to get the shot up and in from where he was. And the crowd getting excited. Matthews with another turnover and a 2-hand flush. And just like that, the game is tied.
This is what when you're gonna see Western Michigan, what they're made of. First time they've had some adversity. Let's see how they respond. Boy, Davis doing a great job denying Dugan the basketball.
This is just stifling defense right now from Michigan. Another steal. Jordan Poole to the other end. And Poole missing the dunk that would have given Michigan the lead. Printy backs it out now. About a 3-second differential. Western Michigan says, let's pull on the reins a little bit if you're one of the Broncos right now.
Jordan Poole blew a tire getting to the rim that time. His teammate's going to talk about that for a while.
Michigan has not led in this game. Flowers turning the corner against Davis. Can't get it to go. Rebound for Matthews. 3 seconds. 2 seconds. Matthews driving all the way to the rim. Finger roll falls. And Michigan's first lead comes at halftime.
What patience, presence to find how much time he had left. There's a dribble per second typically, Kevin. He knew he had 3 dribbles left. Got all the way to the rim. Perfect timing at the end. He looked up. He's assessing the defense. Nobody's picking him up. He saw he'd get all the way to the rim. Excellent play by Charles Matthews.
What a fantastic finish. A 10-0 run to close the first half for Michigan. And the Wolverines take a 2-point lead into the locker room. Our halftime score, Michigan 30, Western Michigan 28. Stay tuned. Dave, Jess, and Dion will be along from our Chicago studio with a State Farm halftime report after this break. Now, the wordplay on that sign is fantastic. The underrated aspect of that drawing is the tears coming from the Broncos' eyes. He's a sad Bronco, and he may be sad because his team is down 2 at halftime. Alongside Stephen Bardo, I'm Kevin Kugler. Very evenly matched first half. Michigan needed a 10-0 run late to get that thing into the leading column. First lead they had came as the buzzer sounded.
Yeah, it was fantastic to see because they did it from the defensive end. Started with the quick hands right there. Wonderful play, as you pointed out, how Simpson was able to gather that and still score. Charles Matthews with the hammer. And then this was something else. 6 seconds as he gets the ball. goes full court, weaves through the defense, recognizes the shot clock, has enough time to get a layup. That's a beautiful play by your senior leader, Charles Matthews.
Who is 1 rebound away from his first double-double of the year. He had 4 last year, but has not had one yet this year. 13 points, 9 rebounds in that first half. Of the shooting summary in the first half, 55% from 2. Matthews has the only made 3, and those free throws continue to plague Michigan. 5 of 13 at the line in the first half.
They do, and what you see from elite teams and what we're seeing from Michigan is that when you're struggling in one aspect, you go to something else. They turn up their defense, they get some breaks, they get some buckets, they get the crowd back involved, and now they're feeling good about themselves.
Ready to go in this second half. Great to have you with us here in Ann Arbor as Michigan, number 5 in the country, going to work with a 2-point lead. This is their first possession with a lead today, and Teskey missing from point-blank range. Western Michigan with a rebound to Flowers, who had a terrific first half in his own right. 15 points, 5 rebounds for Michael Flowers.
I love that play Michigan just ran. Teskey will finish that 9 times out of 10, but beautiful play to get him involved.
Josh Davis throwing darts at the dartboard there, and that one fell.
Yeah, Josh Davis got in early foul trouble, so he was a little ineffective in the first half. So look for him to really kick it up here in the second half.
Guy who averaged 11 points per game last year, despite playing all last year with a broken left hand, then tore his hamstring last summer. So he's been injury-plagued. Off to a good start this year, though, at 14 points per game.
That's a tough kid right there.
Matthews driving right into him, and the foul is going to be called on Josh Davis. And you mentioned the foul trouble early in that first half. Picks up another one here.
Well, Davis doesn't like the call, but he tried to get out of the way, and it looked like he took Charles' legs out from under him.
That is his 4th foul, and it comes just seconds into the second half.
You can tell how frustrated he is, especially with that first one going down. When you get that layup going, you want to be involved in the game.
When you're talking about a kid from Detroit playing against the University of Michigan in Ann Arbor. He was the top player out of the Detroit Public School League, went to Henry Ford High School. You know this was a big game for him, and how frustrated is he that he's on the bench with 4 fouls right now?
Yeah, he's hot right now. And but this is why you're on a great team, and you've got to believe that you're on a great team, that your other teammates can pick you up. So he's got to be a coach on the sideline right now until he can get back in the game.
Poole got a hand on that one, batted it off Jared Printy, and the defense again for Michigan, forcing a turnover.
Poole doesn't get enough credit for his defense. He had 3 steals in the first half. Active hands right there, not quitting on the play. Nice job. Nice job by Dugan, fighting over that screen, not allowing Teskey the easy run to the rim.
Brosdakis, who still has yet to score in this game, Stephen. A little frustrated as he couldn't get that one to go.
Yeah, Kiwanis Wilkins has done a really good job. Wilkins has got a 235-pound frame, so he's a guy that can kind of keep Brosdakis from bulldogging a lot of guys, which Iggy can do.
Simpson got an open look from 3. Got to feel good for Michigan to see an early 3 fall. 1 for 8 as a team in that first half.
Yeah, I think when Xavier Simpson scores like that, it really bolsters this ball club.
Wilkins trying to hit the big man Seth Dugan, and you've got to work to sail it over the outstretched arms of the 7-footer.
I was going to say, Yao Ming might not have been able to get that pass.
And a timeout taken by the Broncos of Western Michigan. Steve Hawkins wants to try to get this back in control, down by 5. When you're watching that, I'm telling you, you're going to be watching one of the coolest little venues for college basketball in the country.
Yeah, they have the old school clocks.
Yep.
And they've got the real deep, dark wood, and it smells of a Indiana high school gym or something like that. It's really, really a retro throwback situation.
Yeah, you have to expect to see Dennis Hopper kind of stumbling out from somewhere in the back during the game.
Yeah, that's right.
He will. Teskey. Michigan back to work with a 5-point lead. Good bounce to Teskey. The reverse not going to go. Teskey trying to keep it alive. but it's out of bounds and a turnover back to Western Michigan. Teskey's yet to score either. Michigan with a lead despite nothing from Teskey or Brazdeikis.
And he's had some good looks here in the second half to start. Seems like Xavier Simpson's trying to get him going. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to convert.
Dugan popping up top. We saw it very early with Western Michigan. Every possession got a touch inside the Dugan, but they really had to go away from that because of that Michigan D.
Yeah, Teskey's done a good job, and Davis did a good job as well.
Trying to hand off to Flowers. 4 to shoot. Flowers has got to hurry. 2 on the shot clock. He's got a launch. And that one not going to go, but an offensive rebound. Good work by Kiwanis Wilkins.
Western Michigan wanting to get deeper into the shot clock if they can't get a quick look early.
They've done a good job battling on the boards today, even with Michigan at 20 rebounds apiece. 12 to shoot. Tested 3 from Prenti, falling over backwards. Brazdeikis, grabs the carom.
It's good to see Iggy get involved in the offense here.
Poole with the step back.
Well, he is talented. It makes it look easy.
Had a slow start to the year that Jordan Poole, just 8 points a game in the first 5. These next 5, 19 points per game for Jordan Poole. Dugan trying to go to work. Teskey with a rejection.
Well, Teskey's a lot stronger than he looks. Dugan tried to put his shoulder into Teskey's chest, and he didn't go anywhere.
There's Matthews, 15 points for Matthews behind the back. Tough fadeaway jumper. No, but a foul. That'll go on Wilkins.
Look at Teskey. Right there. Good job of just being strong. Seth Dugan trying to create the space, but Teskey not having it. One of the things I've been really interested in seeing with Michigan, Kevin, early in the year, is even when their offense isn't going well or individually they're not playing well, they never slack up on the defensive end. John Beilein talks about Xavier Simpson and Charles Matthews set the tone in practice. They get in their teammates' face. They hold them accountable. I think that's one of the big reasons why Michigan has had this early success.
They've stretched it to a 9-point lead. Western Michigan has not scored since the bucket at the 1932 mark. That's the first second-half miss at the line for Michigan, but they get the offensive board.
Such a demoralizing thing when you give up an offensive rebound like that.
Simpson back out to Teskey, open for 3. Strong for the big man, and the rebound by Emelian in the corner.
Beilein saw something because he specifically called that play out, feeling that Teskey would get an open look from the top of the key, trying to get his big man going offensively.
3 for 15 on the year is Teskey from 3. Good pass down low, and the bounce falls from Michael Flowers. Boy, has he been impressive today.
He has, and he's a rugged guard. He's taken a lot of contact when he's gotten into the rim, but it hasn't affected his ability to finish.
Grew up just 35 minutes from Ann Arbor. You know he's excited to be playing on this stage. He's come in red hot and continued that hot streak. 10 to shoot for Matthews. 5 on the shot clock. Simpson will launch. Simpson will hit. Xavier Simpson with his second 3. He's got 10.
I love Xavier Simpson. He doesn't do anything that he is not good at doing. He's not a great three-point shooter, but he got his feet set, got a good look at it, let it fly. Just makes the right play at the right time.
Dugan's 3, not going to go. Rebound tipped around. There's Simpson again making a play. And Simpson on the push to Matthews. The jump stop, the finish for Charles Matthews.
Boy, such a fluid athlete is Matthews. Talked about that jump stop, able to get past his defender and get all the way to the rim.
2 guys that John Beilein said are unconsciously competent in his 4 stages of learning. And they're consciously pushing Michigan up to the 12-point lead.
Nice job. 2-man basketball. Xavier Simpson, a practice 3. Able to set up and drain it. And a beautiful look to Charles Matthews. Excellent athleticism around the rim.
Who led by 2 at halftime. They've outscored Western Michigan 14-4 to start off this second half. And first 16 minutes, 19 points. 25 points for Michigan over the last 9 minutes, dating to the close of the first half and into the start of the second.
Showing you that spurt ability, as our good friend Clark Kellogg used to say a lot. You can see that with Michigan. Just hit you quickly with their ability to slow you down on this end and then to score.
Shot clock winding, and Flowers gets the bucket and the foul. How about Michael Flowers today? In full bloom, he's got 19.
He's coming off a 25-point game against Youngstown State, so he's feeling pretty confident. Goes right at Xavier Simpson. Edwin Young, that was a good catch, wasn't it? Because I didn't see that initially.
One more for Flowers, 20 points for Michael Flowers. Not a surprise necessarily to see him do this at a high major. They played at Cincinnati earlier this year at 23. He is a capable scorer and a tough player.
Yes, he is, and he's well put together. He doesn't look particularly big, but he's one of those wiry, strong guys.
Here's Teske on the drive, and Teske with a chance to get his first points of the day at the line as Jared Printy commits the personal foul, his first.
Michigan does this as well as any team in college basketball. Utilize the pick and roll when bigs either slip or fade. That time, Teske slips and draws the contact. You know, Kevin, I want to go back to something. We talked about Ohio State and Iowa. I think Ohio State is the Rodney Dangerfield of college basketball. They have 8 players that average 5.5 or more points per game. They're one of the best defensive teams in the Big Ten. I believe they're second in three-point field goal percentage defense. And when you look at Chris Holtman, he's done that at Gardner-Webb, at Butler, and now at Ohio State with totally different teams, and it doesn't matter. I just think they don't get enough credit.
They got a real push, and not to be surprised by that push from Bucknell earlier today on BTN.
Yep.
Bucknell does that to teams all the time.
Yes, they do. Nickname Giant Killer.
Printy with the 3, and Printy, who had a nice little hot streak in the first half from deep, hits his third.
And he's looking at DJ Carson saying he got hit in the head on the release.
Simpson driving in, and Simpson is fouled. Got tripped up on his way to the basket by Printy, his second.
Jared Printy, the reason he is open because he's running hard. Young viewers, when you're watching the game and you're receiving a screen, run like your life depends on it, and you can create some space to get your shot off. Nice job by Printy.
That's a great look from our cameras as well to see him with that sprint. Even in slow motion, he's running fast.
That's right.
Poole with the throw. Not going to go. Rebound underneath. Pulled down by Seth Dugan. Michigan hanging around, still down 7 despite taking a flurry of shots from Michigan to start this second half.
And look at the defense right now. Look where they're trying to initiate their offense.
Reach-in foul on Charles Matthews, his first. Team's second. And Iggy Brazdeikis checks back in for John Beilein's squad. Brazdeikis still trying to get on track offensively. It has not been the day that we've become accustomed to seeing from the 2-time Big Ten Freshman of the Week.
No, he's struggling today, and I think that break that Michigan had, sometimes that affects players differently. Sometimes guys can come back with fresh legs and look good. Other guys need to be in rhythm. Iggy just hasn't found his rhythm yet.
0 for 4 from the floor, no points on the board. Here's Dugan, reverse on the baseline, and Western Michigan back within 5.
Okay, big fella, I see you. Teske not in and taking advantage of Davis. A little reverse action. Nice denial there.
Josh Davis out there denying with 4 fouls. It's Matthews going to work inside, and a whistle blows. And Matthews working his way back to the foul line.
Well, Seth Dugan has found it tough going, but nice fake to the middle, comes baseline, wraparound shot. Davis is in pretty good defensive position there, Kevin, but nice move by Dugan.
John Beilein had a lot of very nice things to say about Seth Dugan when we talked with him earlier today. They recruited him, and he said he's really blossomed as a senior. He said, this is a guy who just continued to progress. He said he's become a really nice basketball player.
He has, and he's a primary weapon for Western Michigan. I just think Michigan's bigs have done a good job on him today. It made it very difficult for him to finish.
He's got 5 double-doubles on the year. You don't see too many guys this late in the year still averaging a double-double. And Seth Dugan came in averaging 17.5 points, 10 rebounds a game.
Those are impressive numbers that anybody at any level of college basketball would want to have on their team.
Oh, they've played at Ole Miss, at Cincinnati. They've played a couple of tough places, and he's been able to maintain those numbers. Here's Flowers. Backs it out now. Adrian Martin back on the floor. Martin working against his opposite number, and Poole with the block. Ball knocked out of bounds, and it'll stay with Western Michigan.
So now you see Michigan is changing their defense a little bit. So Simpson's still in the game. I saw Charles Matthews guarding Flowers there. It was just a switch.
There's Flowers attacking. Now Davis, the fadeaway. A little bit strong. Matthews, the rebound.
Now, people at home think, well, why did Davis fade away on Xavier Simpson? Well, he's got 4 fouls. And he was going up against one of the premier defenders, so that was a smart move, even though he didn't get the shot to drop.
Step back from Matthews. Teskey there to clean it up.
Well, Michigan can just wear you down, Kevin. Well, the only thing that we saw them struggle with earlier was their free throw shooting. Their defense is stellar. They've been on the glass.
Flowers again. He's got 22.
Isn't it fun to see a guy that wants to impress? You know, he may have thought he could play at Michigan, but didn't get recruited, possibly, and comes in, I'm going to show you. Well, he's doing that so far this afternoon.
Steve Hawkins said, well, you can score. Yeah, you can. He can score. Simpson driving to the rim, and that's an offensive foul. Michigan turns it back over, and a timeout here in Ann Arbor.
Well, you see the attack on the basket, and Teskey will not be denied. He hadn't had the best offensive game, but he sticks with it and gets on the offensive glass.
My heart is racing 100 miles. Every second I'm with you. Every second I'm with you. This is love, 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 love. The only thing I know is true. This is the love that I could fall into. Love, 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 love.
My partner, Stephen Bardo, loves the T-shirt cannon. Would love to have a chance to catch a T-shirt from that cannon someday. So if you're running a T-shirt cannon somewhere and Stephen's in town, let him know.
Hey, you know what? As you're pulling out wide, if they would have pulled out a little bit earlier, they would see me duck, because I do it every time.
Sonny Washington on the Michigan bench, but he is, I wouldn't say his loyalties are torn. He's obviously coaching for Michigan now, but he is in the Hall of Fame. The Western Michigan Hall of Fame. Two-time All-MAC participant, averaged 22 points per game in his senior year in 1997-98. He can fill it up.
He can fill it up, and it's great to see guys like this come up in the business, and then they can coach against their alma mater. Everybody has a feel-good story. Sonny Washington doing a really good job. Beeline staff.
Wilkins trying to find some room on the baseline, working against Brosdakis and Kiwanis Wilkins. They call him Squeaky. Squeaky making a little noise here with Western Michigan back within 5.
He was squeaky like he was back in Chicago Farragut High School right there, showing some strength along the baseline.
Eli Brooks, 15 to shoot. Brosdakis scoreless in this game. A fadeaway jumper, an air ball, and a turnover back to Western Michigan. He thought he got hit on the elbow.
Yeah, I thought he did as well. Well, Kiwanis Wilkins right there, 235-pound frame. Put it to good use right there on the baseline.
9-point game. Michigan with the lead, despite the fact that their leading scorer has not scratched the scoring column yet today. Wilkins back to work. Here's Martin, 9 to shoot. Martin leaning in on Poole. No. Teskey ripping down the rebound, and it's going against Western Michigan with a foul inside. That'll be on Dugan. That's his second, rather third foul. Third personal foul for Dugan.
I can see that right there. The right arm of Dugan kind of pushing Teskey. You know, Teskey came down with the rebound. He doesn't like it, but like I said, it makes us a great official with the instant replay.
It sure does.
Speaking of officials, B.J. Carson came over and explained to me on that loose ball situation when the defender is not in defending position. But that's a foul when they collide going after a loose ball. I really appreciate the officials that are in this league. They come over and work with us. They educate us. I'm really appreciative of that because
when you've got a guy on the ground, then he's not in a defending position, and it's automatically going to be a foul on that defender.
Exactly. And Kevin, here's the thing. I have so much more respect for them because, ooh, that was deep. But when you change the rules as much as we have in college basketball, and they're up on it split second, I give them a lot of credit.
Yeah, I appreciate the fact that they'll communicate with us, let us know what's going on. Really great thing to have that insight from those guys who spend their time studying all this stuff.
I agree. And Rick Boyage is in the house, supervisor of officials for the Big Ten. He's here as well. But Jordan Poole shooting it from Ypsilanti. Feeling like he got hit on the wrist. Hey, if you get hit on the wrist, you probably need to get that more often with that result.
Inbound with Western Michigan down 8. Pretty out of his shoe. Or rather, Wilkins shoeless. That's the second Western Michigan Bronco that we've seen shoeless today. I believe it was Josh Davis who lost his shoe in the first half. There's Josh Davis on the left side of your screen. He's shoeless, trying to slip and slide his way up the floor. You could see what happened here with Wilkins. Whoops.
I like the fact that he got the ball back, though. It wasn't a turnover.
And that he avoided a travel because he kept the dribble as he slipped.
Hey, that's being creative in a time of need. Oh, don't pick up the ball there, though. Western Michigan fortune.
Shot clock at 3. Prenti's got a launch and a foul. Teskey out on him, swung down with the block and picked up the foul. And a big grin on the face of Jared Prenti as he goes to the free throw line. Let's see if he sold this a little bit.
There's definitely contact, but the flailing and the falling back. I'm telling you, these guys in college basketball, all of them, they major in something, but they minor in drama because they sell these calls.
Did you at any point in your college basketball or professional basketball career sell a three-point miss like that?
No, because the officials back in the day would embarrass you. They would tell you, get up, or they, Bardo, quit messing around, or something like that. I mean, no, there was no flopping, no selling calls, anything like that. It's not a knock on today's game, not a knock on our game. It's a different game, different time. You've heard me say it before, European soccer has infiltrated college basketball.
Prenti just 1 for 3 after that trip to the line. And a foul on Teskey, his third. Here's Livers, got an open look for 3. Rebound to Prenti. Michael Flowers looking to push. He's got 22 points in this ballgame.
Just when you think Michigan is going to get that spurt to bust this thing open, Western Michigan responds. Let's see if they can do it here.
Davis lost it on the way in. Good hands by Matthews to take it away. Now Charles Matthews ahead to Simpson. Simpson in traffic, in trouble. Muscled it up anyway, and Dugan rips down the rebound.
Unfortunate break that time for Michigan. Looked like they had an advantage. Just could not convert. Got a mismatch with Simpson guarding Wilkins, but they didn't find it.
Turnover back to Michigan. Coming up next, it's women's basketball. LSU will take on Rutgers. We'll get you out to New Jersey after our game right here on BTN and on the Fox Sports app. 7-point advantage for Michigan with the ball. Brooks back to Matthews. Open is Simpson for three in the corner. One of the better offensive sets Michigan's run the entire afternoon, Stephen.
I agree, Kevin. Ball switch sides of the floor. Everybody touched it. Xavier Simpson, 3 of 3 right now from long range. Just telling you, you have to pick your poison with Michigan, but there's not much you can pick.
Good hands again by Charles Matthews. He's made some big plays at the end of the first half, and now these last 2 turnovers. And Xavier Simpson, the beneficiary of this pass. As Simpson in the corner with his 3rd made 3. He's got 13. Michigan trying to pull away late. State Farm here to help life go right. Talk to a State Farm agent today. Back at Ann Arbor, Michigan with a 10-point lead, 55-45. Alongside Stephen Bardo, I'm Kevin Kugler. Let's check out the State Farm assist of the game.
Nice job there by Matthews. He's drawn so much attention that he gives an extra second for Xavier Simpson to get off that 3-point shot. That's our State Farm assist of the game. Well done. Xavier Simpson usually setting up guys, but the recipient of the assist.
Simpson with 13 points today, one of 3 Michigan Wolverines in double figures. Not in double figures, Iggy Brasdeikis still scoreless in this ballgame.
What team do you know, Kevin, that could not have their leading scorer score a point and yet now, or just then, be up 10 points in a low possession game? It just shows you how deep and talented this Michigan ball club really is.
Michael Flowers put on a nice show today with 22. Printy rolling around to get the 3. That's not going to go. And rebound Isaiah Livers. Now Livers looking to push. Poole, the skip into the corner to Simpson. Simpson got a screen from Teskey. 15 to shoot. Poole back to work again. Poole, the little floater won't drop. Teskey with the swat out to Josh Davis.
Very good defense that time by Davis.
Look at Davis splitting defenders, trying to throw that one down and can't get it to go. And a whistle and a foul.
Well, he had bad intentions, didn't Davis?
He did.
Oh, man, he got through 2 defenders. The push dribble right there. Push dribble, see some daylight. Goes to the hole. Man, good challenge right there by Jordan Poole.
Poole, though, whistled for the foul. And 2 free throws coming for Josh Davis. Just 2 points today. Davis saddled with foul trouble all day long.
Oh, this guy's Flowers, Davis, and Xavier Simpson all know each other. They have a nice little tit-for-tat back and forth. First smile I've seen on Davis's face all afternoon.
Free throws fall for Josh Davis. 8 points the lead for Michigan. It's been tight throughout. Michigan's largest lead, 12. They did not lead until the end of the first half when a bucket at the buzzer gave them a 2-point halftime advantage. Good ball pass down low, and the finish for Kiwanis Wilkins, and here come the Broncos again, down 6.
And that was a rare secondary fast break. It wasn't a traditional fast break that you used to see, but they advanced the ball up quickly and got a good look.
And Michigan will use a timeout. 6:09 to go in this second half, and John Beilein's squad in a battle here with Western Michigan.
They are in a battle, and it's a low possession game, and so it's really kept Western Michigan in this game.
Well, and you look at our sharpshooters over the last 5 games. Brasdeikis, 19 points per game. Poole, 19 per game. Isaiah Livers, 50% from the floor. And really, our sharpshooters have been not as sharp coming into this game today.
And I think, again, we mentioned it earlier, I think it's the layoff that kind of has some rust on Brasdeikis and also Livers. But they're getting looks. They're still ahead. they're getting other contributions, and that's what's going to happen sometimes when teams are going to bring their best effort.
Jordan Poole, meanwhile, he's got 10 points today, 4 for 8 from the floor, inside and outside for Poole.
He's done a really good job, and he's so talented. And he's a young guy that, you know, has got a gregarious personality, one of the more popular guys on the team. He smiles often. Here's a guy that the more he's around John Beilein, you're going to see him having a shot at the next level.
After he hit that 3 last year against Houston in the NCAA tournament, I believe you got John Beilein to comment on his swag, which is something you didn't really ever expect to hear. Brazdeikis gets his first 2. The little runner falls for Iggy Brazdeikis. That stretches it back to 8.
That was a tough move with his offhand. He made it look easy, but it wasn't.
He's one of those guys who doesn't appear to have an offhand. I mean, I know he does, but man, he is just able to do so much with both hands. As a blocking foul will send Dugan to the line. And Brazdeikis will pick up the foul.
Dugan seems to be a little bit banged up. John Floyd right on the spot, immediately points to the restricted area. And then Iggy, nice runner, utilizing the nice touch.
Plays left-handed, he's right-handed in every other aspect of life, basically. One more free throw to come for Seth Dugan. He battled a foot injury last year. Anytime a big man has a foot injury, that's hard to overcome. He wore a boot every other moment of the day except for games last year. Then he'd take the boot off for games, and he'd put the boot back on. He'd have the boot on the rest of the time. They'd take the boot back off, play the game, and put the thing back on again.
Kevin, I don't know that our viewers understand how difficult that is to do. I mean, you're talking about a 240-pound man with pounding constantly, and you know, trying to play through the pain of that, and how it will affect your game. That is very difficult to do.
There's Matthews turning the corner with 4 to shoot, and Dugan the rebound. Ended up having surgery on that foot injury over the summer. Missed all of his work over the summer. He's come out roaring this season as Davis with the fadeaway. Little bit strong, got a good look. Simpson the rebound.
That was a big possession for Western Michigan. Had they made that bucket, you know, the crowd is already pensive. It's really quiet in here. So Western Michigan's done a good job of that, of keeping the crowd out of it. That would have cut it to a 6-point deficit. It would have given them a breath of fresh air.
Matthews from the elbow, no. Rebound, Kiwanis Wilkins. Wilkins has shoveled the Flowers. Eastern Michigan trying to find some offense. It's hard to come by against this Michigan D. Flowers launching the 3. And he hits! Michael Flowers has tied his career high with 25.
Boy, he is. I just love seeing players when they are confident. They can take difficult shots and make them look easy.
Now the crowd's mood's gone from pensive to concerned.
As they should. And this is a low possession game.
Brazdeikis.
Oh, wow.
My goodness, what a giant bucket for the freshman.
And Dugan's laughing because he's like, I don't know how the heck he made that. I was in great position, and he still made it.
Printy. Back it goes to Flowers. 15 to shoot for Wilkins. Working against Matthews. Printy again around the Dugan screen. Nothing there. 8 on the shot clock. Wilkins looking inside. Now he'll take it himself. Wilkins muscles it up and in with 3 to shoot.
Well, that's good footwork by Wilkins. I thought he'd get in there and maybe get a travel or something, but kept his pivot foot down. He really utilizes that frame well.
Saw him earlier barreling through Brazdeikis, yes. Almost like a football player going through a practice slam, practice dump. Poole driving to the rim, and Poole with a left hand.
Boy, he is so strong. A lot of these Michigan players, they look thin and lean, but they are strong, no doubt about it.
Flowers trying to split 2 defenders, and Poole called for the foul, his second, and a timeout on the floor.
Well, for a guy that is as demonstrative as Jordan Poole, he's been a cool customer here this afternoon.
Again, with 2:51 to go in the second half, Wolverines trying to hang on to that undefeated record. Their next Big Ten opponent will be Penn State when we resume conference play in a couple of weeks. Steven mentioned Ohio State earlier. Wisconsin off to a nice start. Of course, Michigan State at 8-2, and Indiana at 8-2. Their next conference foe will be Illinois. Boy, was it fun to get conference play going as we've expanded to 20 games this year. That week or so of conference play was fantastic. So many games that came down to the wire here on BTN, and I can't wait to get back into conference play in early January. It's going to be some kind of conference season this year, Stephen.
I agree, Kevin. I think we're going to have the best conference in the country, top to bottom. The most competitive games, the most games that are won by 5 points or less. I think you're going to see that out of the Big Ten this year. And, you know, one team on that list that doesn't get a lot of mention, I think Archie Miller has done a fantastic job with that Indiana squad in spite of all the injuries. They've been a mash unit. I mean, Deron Davis has been in and out of the lineup. Jerome Hunter, their talented freshman that will not play this season. Langford's been banged up. Aljamain Durham has been banged up. But yet they have still been able to overcome.
Matthews able to get baseline and draw the foul. Flowers with a career-high 27 has brought Western Michigan within 5. And the foul on Josh Davis has fouled the senior out of this game.
Well, Charles Matthews, understanding that he can take advantage in that situation, did not hesitate one bit. Drew the contact. But he's standing at the line right now, which is a no-no. You see right there, there's no hesitation whatsoever. Charles knows that he's got advantage over Davis, draws the contact. Let's see if he can convert at the line.
Davis's night is done. The senior from Detroit, who averages 14 points per game, sits down with just 4 points and 4 rebounds. Tough afternoon for Davis. Getting a little love from his head coach, though.
I love that. That right there. Steve Hawkins goes to his player, gives him some dap, puts his arm around him a little bit. That's great coaching, because we're all in the relationship business, Kevin, regardless of what you're doing. The more connected you can be as a coach with your players, it's an outstanding job.
Well, Steve Hawkins knows for them to compete in the MAC West, they're going to need Josh Davis to have his head in the game once conference play begins.
Yeah, because maybe a lot of the Big Ten viewers don't know how competitive the MAC conference is. That's a gauntlet. Buffalo is outstanding this year. Miami of Ohio is improved. Up and down the line. Mark Montgomery does a good job at Northern Illinois.
Martin with 14 to shoot. Western Michigan down by 7. They led almost the entirety of the first half in this game. Michigan's largest lead in the second half has been 12. Wilkins with the 3. Bobble on the catch. Good offensive rebound. Martin, though, can't finish. That would have been a huge bucket.
I agree. And, the crowd sensing that, Michigan was fortunate in that exchange.
Under 2 minutes to play here in Ann Arbor. Cool. His pocket pick. Martin takes it away. Smart. 1-on-2. Splits the defenders. Gets the bucket. And Adrian Martin, just a true freshman, brings Western Michigan within 5.
That's a heck of a play, because he knew exactly what he was trying to do. Pickpocket right out front. Was able to get through 2 defenders and get to the rim.
And a timeout taken by John Beeline. Adrian Martin providing a little spark. 63-58 with a steal in the finish.
Martin knew exactly what he was doing. He knew Jordan Poole was going to turn down the pick. Livers gets into the picture as well. Doesn't matter. Martin, an excellent individual effort here, turning defense into offense.
That after he missed on the offensive rebound on the putback opportunity that would have brought it to within 5. So Adrian Martin, who was a prolific scorer in high school, over 1,700 points in his high school career, comes off the bench, makes a couple of plays. This one he wishes he had back.
Yeah, for sure, because when you get those bunnies like that, you don't get those too often, especially against a team as defensively sound as Michigan. But boy, he made up for it. And a lot of times, Kevin, young players will put their head down when they don't complete a play like that, he came right back, showed some toughness in making that play. It's a good Western Michigan team. And you got, even it looks like Michigan, unless something crazy happens, looks like they'll hold on, but Western Michigan has, they have played and shown themselves very well here on the road.
Remember, not a great free throw shooting team, this Michigan team, although they're 8 for 10 in the second half at the line. We're 5 of 13 in the first half. 5 to shoot. Matthews the 3. Oh, what a bucket for Charles Matthews. That might be the finishing blow.
Tell you what, there's nothing like seniors in college basketball. They know time and situation. Charles Matthews knew they needed a big bucket, steps up with no hesitation.
Michael Flowers now with 13 to shoot. Career high 27 today for Flowers. Drives in, no, but he'll go to the line. Brazdeikis with the foul. And Michael Flowers with 2 free throws coming. But what a giant shot by Charles Matthews, who's got 25 today.
Yeah, Simpson gets deep on his penetration, kicks back out. Looked like Michael Flowers was late to respond. Charles Matthews already into his 3-point shot.
For Flowers.
When you look at Western Michigan, Flowers has been outstanding. So Prenti hit some big threes early on. We've seen Kiwanis Wilkins make some nice plays. Adrian Martin made that play to get them within 5. So this is a good showing by the Mustangs.
Not done yet with 48.2 seconds to go in a 6-point game. Don't forget, coming up, LSU at Rutgers women's basketball when we're done here in Ann Arbor. As our busy day on BTN continues. Northern Iowa tonight. Men's basketball again. What a busy day. And then, of course, doubleheader tomorrow. Capping it with Nebraska, Oklahoma State at the Sanford Pentagon.
Hey, it's holiday basketball, holiday season. Let me correct myself. I meant Broncos. I got my horses wrong. I don't want to do that. I don't want to mess up Western Michigan's effort here today because they've done outstanding.
The horse population has now called off its boycott of Stephen Bardo. No timeouts left for Steve Hawkins. So his final words in this huddle with only 1 timeout remaining for Michigan. Any foul by Western Michigan is going to be a 1-and-1 situation for Michigan. Charles Matthews, though, has been the superstar today that Michigan needed.
He's done a little bit of everything. Got that first 3 to drop. Has played an outstanding defense. This play towards the end of the first half, and then he made another play at the end of the first half. And then continued his stellar effort here in the second.
25 points, 10 rebounds, 3 steals in 36 minutes of play. His 5th career double-double, first this year for Charles Matthews.
And we got to remember, Kevin, he started his career at Kentucky. Didn't get really any playing time there, and has come to another elite program and has had a tremendous time here in Ann Arbor.
Pressure applied by Western Michigan. Now they'll foul Jordan Poole, who on the year came in at 80% at the line, has not had an attempt here today.
He is, if he's anything, he's confident. Jordan Poole, so I expect him to step up and convert these.
Dugan back in now, big man for Western Michigan. Isaiah Livers on the floor now for Michigan. 1-and-1 for Poole. 1 more to go for Jordan Poole. Well, up next, Air Force right here on BTN, Binghamton. And then back into conference play. Penn State, Indiana, at Illinois, and Northwestern.
Rematch of that Northwestern Michigan game ought to be a fun one, because that first one was a heavyweight bout.
They've played a few memorable games over the last couple of years between those two squads.
They have. You and I think, were on probably their most important call leading to the tournament.
Northwestern, the Derek Harden bucket at the end of the game. Tipped into the backcourt. Western Michigan down 8 will go back to work. Clock a factor now, 25 seconds to go. Flowers had it stripped. Simpson with a steal. Xavier Simpson to the other end, finishing it off for Michigan.
Senior stepping up big time.
There's Flowers driving inside. He'll go to the line with 13 seconds to go. Oh boy, the seniors, the juniors, the upperclassmen, the guys that John Beilein called unconsciously competent, like Xavier Simpson.
Like Xavier Simpson. I'm not trying to make you too old, young fella. My bad. Didn't say junior, but Xavier Simpson, really the head of this feisty defensive attack by Michigan. And getting some instruction from DJ Carstensen.
Maybe he's informing him about the rule that we learned about the guy on the ground. Please stop calling fouls. I just want to go home and study for finals. Yes, that's the plea of every college student. Please let me go study. I'd rather be studying.
And you know what? The guy with the dry eraser board. That's so brilliant because you can write any kind of sign or anything you want. Just erase and do it all over again. I love it.
Well, he's 13 seconds from getting the chance to go home and study for finals, which continue into next week for Michigan. And a takeaway. Flowers will launch the three. It's not going to go and out of bounds to Michigan with 8.8 seconds remaining.
Good challenge by Charles Matthews on that three. Flowers hits that, it gets interesting. Oh, Steve Hawkins going to call him off, so he's going to go ahead and let the clock run out.
And Michigan's going to move to 11-0. Continuing their unbeaten start to the season. A hard-fought battle, 70-62, with the win over Western Michigan. For Stephen Bardo, I'm Kevin Kugler. Coming up next, it's women's basketball, LSU and Rutgers. Let's join Mike Monaco and Julianne Vianney in New Jersey. So long from Ann Arbor.